Boom. What's up?
How much? I wonder if people start to realize the music dichotomy between the two of us whenever we pick intros.
Maybe. I'm much more of a hip hop guy. Lots of drums, beats that make you bob your head. Yours do too, but you're much more of a guitar guy.
That's a good assessment.
Yeah. Yeah, see? See? So, what's up, guys? This is the 42nd episode of Frag Logic. Next Gen is here. We got PlayStation 4 released Friday. So we got some initial impressions from a lot of you guys. We got teammate impressions. We have lots of video to digest, reviews, all that stuff coming in. And then this week we are. This is the show before, Colin, the Xbox One launch. Ah, a new era.
The beginning of a new era, which is what we'll get into.
Yes. But before we get into that, for anyone that is new to the show, I'm sure most of you guys aren't. Colin and I talk about lots of games and rant on different things. And today we have PS4 X1 discussion. We got our normal weekend events. And when we go on PS4, I'm going to have a streamlined, basically, feedback that we got from you guys, YouTubers, from my subscribers talking about their experience so far with PlayStation 4. But yeah, you guys will see that when it pops up, and you guys will be able to read through some of it. It cycles through. I think there's like, I took 25-ish comments or so. So that'll kind of cycle through while we're talking about it. So if you miss anything, it'll probably come back. You just gotta wait. But like we normally do, weekend stuff. Colin, what were you doing? What were you playing?
Uh, I've been trying to learn Python and Code Academy. We talked about it a little bit last week. So that was my Saturday. Then my Sunday was playing Risk of Rain. It's actually a roguelike. You should call it like a roguelike RPG or hack and slash, where you gain items and then when you die you lose everything. But I played it with Cloud, James, and Sean. So it's a lot of fun. I recommend picking it up if you're into roguelikes. It's pretty entertaining little game. $10.
How's your Python been?
It's pretty poor.
Really?
It's rough going. I apparently learned that I've lost any ability to do basic math.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
which makes it rough.
I don't know if this will make you feel any worse or any better, but Christy has been taking programming classes. I don't know if you guys know. Christy is my woman. You guys have probably seen her a couple times, but she's taking Python right now,
Uh,
and I've looked at some of her stuff. She's done some pretty good work. I think she has like a B in the class, B minus. That. Um, and her teacher, like, she just wanted to start coding. She didn't like. She took some basic stuff in high school, and so her teacher has like this really professor, I should say, has this really exact way of coding, and so she codes however she wants, and she comes up with the same answers. And so the professor will always have comments like, you did that very interesting, although that's not the way I would have done it. And so, like, sometimes he'll dock points on her, even though she gets the
yeah,
right
I mean
answer.
there's standards
Yeah. I,
mainly because you'd usually be writing with other people.
other people. Right.
Yeah,
Right. So,
yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, it's a useful skill to have, just to be able to program in any language. So I'm just kind of taking a stab at it. It's pretty cool. The Code Academy's course is really cool. Already after 4 or 5 days, built a little battleship game.
really?
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Did the battleships move?
No, it was like battleships hidden at one location on a 5x5
Okay.
grid.
Okay. Okay.
And
That's what
then
I
you
was
just
wondering.
pick it, and then if you miss, then it's like do another turn. You get 4 turns. Pretty cool. Tenses will beat me in it. It's one player battleship.
That's funny. Um, so yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff. Did you see any movies this weekend?
No, actually, I watched Prisoners. It's with Jake Gyllenhaal and uh,
You're as bad as.
and Hugh Jackman. There we go.
How could you not remember Hugh Jackman?
I couldn't remember his name. He looks like freaking Chuck Norris in the
Wolverine?
movie.
He looks like Wolverine,
He
right?
looks like Chuck Norris in this
He
movie.
looks like Wolverine. That's who he looks like because he's Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Huh.
And then we saw Thor last week.
Yeah, we saw Thor last week, and we still can't say any spoilers. We won't even talk about it yet. Although I really want to this week, since we gave everyone a week. I kind of want to talk about the movie. Maybe we'll save that for the end of the show. So if you don't want to hear spoilers about Thor, maybe you should sign off at the end of the show. I'll just put it that way. For anyone on YouTube or whatever, that way, yeah, we'll just do it like that. How about that, Colin?
Okay.
All right. So yeah, my weekend. First, I want to talk. Can you guys see my haircut? Everyone can see my haircut, right?
Really short.
Okay. All right. So everyone saw my haircut. So that was
Is that some?
the main theme of this weekend was haircut.
Is that some gray hairs?
That is not any gray hairs, guys. Guys, no gray hairs, no receding hairline.
It's like
This has
right
been
there?
the same hairline since I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I took family pictures for the first time since my daughter was born. That was the last time we took family pictures. Like the day after, 2 days after she was born, we took family pictures. And then we took them again because she's about to be a year old, which is just crazy to me. I can't believe it. She's already about to be a year old. But this weekend we went down to Austin, downtown, right near Palmer Event Center, where South by Southwest was.
Yeah.
Okay, so right next to that, there's this park, and it has a bunch of hills, and it like great view of the city. And I'll probably post some of those on like Facebook or something like that. But my daughter had a ball, like just running around. She was like picking up leaves and carrying like as many leaves as she could, and just running. The weird thing is, and someone commented on it in the Instagram video I posted, she doesn't walk in the grass. So she picks up every leaf that she can if it's on the sidewalk. As soon as she gets to the grass, she stops and then looks at the grass, then looks at us, then looks at the grass, and then keeps walking. Every single time.
Blades
So
are sharp.
Yeah, you literally have to put her on the grass, and then she'll like walk in it, and then go to the sidewalk. So that was pretty cool. We took 300 and something pictures. That wasn't
No,
me,
when you
guys.
say we,
I mean,
what
Christy.
you really mean is that Christy took 300 some pictures.
She brought her
And
dad out too.
you might have been in quite a few of them, but you didn't take them.
Right. It was fun, guys.
Because I know, because we've had events where we're like, man, we're going to take so many pictures this event, and then we come out with like 15.
15
and like
pictures.
5 of them are blurry. 5 of them are just like pictures of a scene or a stage with no one in them.
Oh yeah, that sounds like us. That female presence
Yeah.
definitely played a factor in 300 pictures. So yeah, what we're doing with those is we're making Christmas cards and we're sending them out to all our family like we did last year before she was born. So, Colin, if you get a Uncle Colin, if you get a Christmas
Uncle
card,
Colin?
yeah,
I don't know about that.
yeah. Hey, it could totally work. Remember, mixed man. Uncle Colin.
You're saying it's believable
Yeah, it's
somewhat?
believable. So yeah, that was the majority of my Saturday was that. Friday, I actually played World of Warplanes. So this is the
I'm sorry.
shooter game the airplane game of basically World of Tanks made by Wargaming, and
Wargaming.
yeah, and it was better than World of Tanks.
Is it just a dogfight?
Yeah,
Just like a
they-
5-on-5 dogfight or something?
No, it's more than 5-on-5. I don't know what the total max is. It was interesting. Like it feels like a flight simulator for the most part. One thing, and this is what one of the guys at work was explaining to me, is that you can have a World War II tank, or I'm sorry, plane, and you could end up fighting like against like they try not to have this happen, but you could end up fighting against like a jet. So, obviously in my first few matches, I didn't encounter any of that, but um, I couldn't like really shoot down people, so I would just kamikaze. So like I would shoot damage someone like as we're both flying at each other. I would like da 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 da, and then I wouldn't deviate. So if they went down, I was going down with them to just try to mimic their movement and then just ramming into them. So I was kind of trolling, but that was the only way I could get kills. And you only get one life too.
Yeah.
So it would consist of me basically running into people, dying, and then watching everyone else for the
Could you
life.
end the rounds without killing them?
I don't know.
Because I know
I
that's a big thing in World of Tanks is that you can go to the other base and win the game that
win the
way.
game. Yeah, so I mean, basically, the only mode that I played was like skirmishes. I played 3 matches. They lasted like 9 minutes a piece, 8 9 minutes a piece, standard like TDM style stuff. And then I went through this awesome, pretty badass tutorial to kind of get you acclimated with the controls.
You
So
still couldn't shoot anything
and I
afterwards.
still couldn't shoot anything. I mean, I don't play the last dog fighting, air fighting game I played was Ace Combat. And I was pretty good at that, but
That was an
mouse and
arcade game
keyboard.
with lock on and shit. Or no,
Yeah.
Ace Combat. No, I was thinking of shit. What was the Crimson Skies?
Oh yeah, no, Ace Combat was pretty legit.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
But
I remember they had a tournament for that.
did
The
they?
2v2
Oh yeah,
tournament,
they did.
GGL.
They did. Yeah,
And then it was Air Force versus regular players in the finals. Was their setup?
but the big thing for me is that I've never really played flight simulators with the mouse
Yeah.
and keyboard. Like it just feels really different. So that was the big hurdle. So I would probably have to spend 50 hours at least playing that game before I would even be competent enough to, feel good about playing. So I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that'll love it, but I mean, it was more fun, like I said, than World of Tanks.
But rolling around really slowly in a tank. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone that's watched the show, you guys know how I feel about World of Tanks. Like, I can't fucking stand that game, and this was actually moderately enjoyable. So, and the other thing is, I didn't even know this. They also have World of Warships.
Yep.
So all that's needed now, Colin, you know this, right? Is infantry units. So what they can call it World at War,
The World of Duty.
World of War Soldiers,
World of Duty.
World of Duty.
You said it. Yes.
World of Duty. You just want
Duty.
duty in there, right?
Yeah. That's all I want is just you to say duty.
Just duty. Okay.
That appeals to my inner 5-year-old.
Oh, you're terrible.
But yeah, I mean that'd be the next step, right?
Yeah. So
And
that's
then
what
they
I'm
can
looking
put them all
forward to.
together and do World of Battlefield.
World of Battlefield. That's the next step, guys.
This is World of
World
People.
of People. World of Infantry. That's the new. I want to see in the YouTube comments and obviously in the Twitch right now is what should Wargaming make their infantry unit game? Should it be World of? Wait, actually, I'm gonna just let you guys go wild with it. I like World of People
I kind of like World of People, and then
That's
just
what-
feel like a Sims game instead of a
because then I could be like, WAP.
instead of actually shooting at each other.
I'm playing WAP, guys. WAP, WAP,
Wop wop
WAP, WAP.
wop wop.
Yeah, World of People. All right, so
That was our longest intro in a
it
while.
was 15-minute intro. All right, now we're PS4 launch. The way we have this broken down, and I'm gonna just go ahead and put the player comments on. But the way we have this broken down is by games, and then kind of general perception from critics on the games. This is like reviews. Yeah, I don't know. For most people out there, I think Colin and I are pretty much in the same general mindset about reviews. Like, take them with a grain of salt. A lot of these, and we were just talking about Killzone, a lot of these only focus on the single player aspect of games for games like Killzone or Battlefield or whatever, and they don't focus on the multiplayer. But for the sake of this particular segment of the show, we're just going to mention these. And kind of I've gone through Metacritic for a lot of these. So again, grain of salt, guys. You be your own reviewer. Um, so looking through, there was a couple games that really stood out to me from watching gameplay, listening to a lot of user feedback, not necessarily critics, and just the general hype around the game was Resogun. Like I was really surprised by the reception on it. Um, I don't know if it was like if it had high expectations going into it, but it seems like across the board that has been the one title that seems like people are like, yeah, this is a really good game. Other than that, I mean, other than some of the free to play games, which I think are all gimmies because they were good on PC. Um, that's been
Ooh.
what?
Sorry, I just got my Elder Scrolls Online beta invite. It just
Your
popped up on
face.
my phone.
Your face.
Ooh.
Ooh. I was like, what did I say? I wasn't even. Was you like Resogun that much? But yeah,
I'll
that's
be
been the
doing this
one game
weekend.
that's been pretty consistently good from critics and user reviews. It's been Resogun, and then you get into I guess the other um, less generic. I don't know. First parties. Resogun is first party, right? PS4 only. Not on PC or anything like that.
Uh, I mean, it's not first party because it wasn't developed by PlayStation, but
Well,
yes,
I
it's
just mean
it's an exclusive,
exclusive. Okay. So then you get Killzone.
and it's free, I believe, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's free through PlayStation Plus.
Hmm. Yeah, that's right. Um, then Killzone Shadowfall. So we have two teammates currently playing that. Tense Hawks, which is a new member of our team. He's TLR Tense there in the chat. And Phobos have been playing Killzone Shadowfall. And for the most part, and Tense, I'm sure you can kind of tell people how you like it in the chat. It seems like the reception for it has been pretty good from a user standpoint, but critic reviews of the game have been kind of eh. And this is where we talked about the whole single player aspect of it. It's like they're all judging it for single player. And I played Killzone 2 and 3 on PlayStation 3 and I was just not impressed. So hearing people, especially teammates say that they're enjoying the game is a little bit more satisfying.
It looks so slow though.
It does.
So slow. So slow. It reminded me of that Perfect Dark footage we were looking at
Last week.
last week.
Yeah. But, I mean, if there was anything I had to critique on it from just looking at it when I looked at it at PAX and then looking at gameplay that I've seen, it does look really slow. Things like you see someone that you want to nade, and then the nade is telegraphed so long, then they throw it,
They're not
and
there
then they get the
anymore.
kill.
Yeah.
It's like wow. Um, so yeah, I think I watched who did I watch play? I watched Eat My Diction play. I watched obviously Tense play. I watched Phobos play, and just generally it just looks slow.
That's it.
Um,
The maps are all pretty small, which is good
yeah,
from what I've seen. It's like small arena maps, almost all of them.
yeah, pretty cool. Um, Let me see. Then this is okay. I see it. It's Knack. Knack is the next game I have. So Knack has gotten some really harsh reviews, particularly from Polygon, which they have just been kind of shitting on on some of those games. Like they got some that are like okay, and then other ones like particularly Killzone they didn't particularly rate it high, and then Knack they just thrashed it, dude.
I
Thrashed
mean,
it.
you also got a 30 from Joystick, and a 40 from Eurogamer, 40 from GameSpot, 40 from Giant Bomb. So I mean, it wasn't just Polygon that thrashed it.
I guess. But the way
It's gotten pretty widely thrashed, as it has a 57
57
score
Metacritic,
currently.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty low. But I just,
Which is surprising to me because usually, like, more kid-friendly games like that at launch do pretty well.
yeah.
It just like Cameo would have been the Xbox 360 equivalent.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And it did okay. Um,
80.
the
What's up?
I guess the thing I'm kind of confused with is on Knack, and maybe why they're so harsh on it is perhaps the purpose that it serves for. There's really not a platformer, so to speak, on PlayStation 4 as of right now. So
I mean, there's only what, like three exclusives, four
yeah,
exclusives in the launch lineup.
I mean,
Resogun, Killzone, Knack. Is
yeah,
Need for Speed exclusive?
no Rivals.
Yeah, it's coming out for everything, right?
It's coming out for everything. But I was kind of looking at user reviews and just looking at user feedback, and I feel like Knack is one of those games because if you look at those, people are like, "No, it's okay. It's not bad. Like I enjoyed this." I feel like it's one of those games where people just want it to be good, like, but it's not. And I have to play it to kind of reaffirm that. But that's my like sneaking suspicion is like people have on the goggles. And funny enough, Ocelot was talking about this on for Killzone. Is people have on the beer goggles, like you're all like in love with it, and then you play it for a little while, you sober up, and you realize, man, this is a piece of shit. Um, and so I'm kind of wondering if
That's it.
I'm kind of
Oh
wondering
wait.
if some of the PlayStation owners are just so uh on that beer goggle esque type feel that they're kind of blind to the faults with this game, or if it's actually a very good game.
It's gonna
Um,
happen next week with Rise.
yeah, that's what I'm anticipating. I'm gonna have the beer goggles though, because the game, I just want to chop people. I played it, and I just want to do that in Gladiator mode. We'll talk about that in a second, Colin. You're gonna get me off on a rant.
I,
Uh,
we'll get there.
and then the other stuff after that is like all basically, oh, other than Contrast. Contrast is an indie game, which I think got a 60 something on Metacritic. But it's like it's another platformer where I want to say when
It
you're in
seems
the
like
light, you turn to a shadow, but you can help platform around different areas.
you have
And
that
then when you're in
backwards,
the
but yeah,
dark, she's like a normal dude or woman person.
have that
Sounds right.
backwards, but yeah,
Oh, it's the other way around.
I believe so.
Okay. Well, whatever.
It just seems like an
Um,
indie game that might have fallen by the wayside if it wasn't part of the launch lineup,
yeah. Um,
based off user response. But I haven't seen any gameplay of it even.
so everything else after that is kind of what I expected. You have FIFA, which was the highest Metacritic. User reviews are like, it's okay. Um, NBA 2K 14, same thing, really high on Metacritic. It's like 84. And then everyone else is like, it's above average, like 78 or something like that is what user average on it is. Tense is playing it. I've seen a lot of people seeming like they're enjoying it, at least from a visual standpoint, seeing that jump in some of the like facial animations and just character models in the game, which I think look really good so far from the video that I've seen. Um,
I mean, at the
and
end of
I
the
mean,
day, like the visual jump from this gen to the next isn't that much.
yeah, it's not like it
Especially
was.
if you have a PC, like, and you've already been playing at this for 2, 3 years now. Like that's not going to blow people away. And none of the games, with the exception of Killzone and Knack, were developed specifically for the PlayStation 4. Like aimed at leveraging the hardware in a way that makes sense and leveraging the software in a way that makes sense. Uh, and you're the same thing on Xbox. Like it's just a lack of confidence in making a game for the next gen. So it's all multi-gen stuff
Right.
where the attention really was like, hey, let's make a game on this console and then just port it over to the other ones. And I don't know, it's really hard to get excited about the launch lineup for either console.
Yeah. I feel the exact same way. And that was echoed, if you guys are reading some of those YouTube comments, that's echoed in a lot of what criticisms people have for, this launch lineup is like, they don't know what games to play. And this is going to get me, kind of, we can talk about Rivals, but it's the highest rated, I want to say the second highest rated on Metacritic from the actual critics. So across the joysticks, the polygons, this at an 85. So that was kind of surprising for me for a Need for Speed title because they're always like so subpar. Um, So I mean, that's one game that I guess maybe stands out, but you got to think like Drive Club and all the other racing games got pushed back. So
Yeah, and like usually the driving games are the graphical benchmarks for a generation because it's easier to do
yeah,
than like big multiplayer shooters and stuff.
yep. Um, but I guess the real games that I think people will probably end up focusing on the PS4 after they get there, you know, and we're gonna leave Battlefield 4 out of the discussion because to me right now it's just broken on PlayStation. People are still crashing. There's a lot of issues on both PlayStation, actually all the consoles for that matter, are having some starts for Battlefield. So you got to throw that one out. Ghost has been one of the lowest rated Call of Duty games since I don't know when. Um, maybe Modern Warfare 3, but I'm thinking back before that was Call of Duty 3. So I mean, just people are just shitting on Ghosts left and right. And
I feel like we said the same thing about Modern Warfare 2 as well.
really,
I think so.
I don't remember that. Modern Warfare 2?
I swear I've been hearing it since Call of Duty 4,
No,
pretty consistently. With the exception of Black Ops 2, maybe.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember reading as much negativity about Call of Duty as I have with Ghosts. I that's what my general perception on. That's on Twitter. That's on people talking about on my Facebook feed. That's people, the critics, the reviewers, um, just short blogs. I mean, I've read a bunch of feedback on Ghost, just talking with people in the studio, and it's getting shit on hard. So I don't know what to say about that, but I mean, if you're looking at some of those non-exclusive titles, I really don't know what to point you at because Battlefield 4 seems to be broken. Um, for at least PS4, it'd probably be the same way in Xbox One. And Ghost is just, I would not recommend playing that game. Like if you have it, if you reserved it, I almost want to tell you to go get your money back because I'm serious. Like I just haven't had a bad Call of Duty experience like that since I don't know when. Call of Duty 3. Um, the games that I think a lot of people are enjoying are the ones that we've kind of already played, which are the PC ones, the free to plays. Blacklight Retribution.
I said it before launch. I said that Blacklight was going to be the best game in the launch titles. And it probably is. With the exception of like Battlefield, which is cross-plat.
I I don't know if I would go as far as saying Blacklight is probably the best. Because if Battlefield gets its stuff together, I think it would take the cake.
Yeah, it's cross-plat. I'm talking
But
about like PlayStation games.
no. I'm just saying if Battlefield if Dice patched the game, because right now I think it's like worth a not even free to play game as of right. I mean, there's some elements to it that kind of work, but there's a lot of crashes on PC, a lot of things that frustrate me right now. I continue to play because I enjoy it, and I know there's potential there, and I kind of feel the same way on console. If they patch it, then it's worth the $60. Otherwise, it's like half the price. And Blacklight was a fucking phenomenal game. And then the other game is Warframe. And if you guys are looking at some of those YouTube comments, people are like really impressed by Warframe. And it's like I was playing that game since February. So it's it's like, man, you guys are missing out so much by not being able to enjoy that game. It's just a phenomenal game. I really enjoy Warframe quite a bit. So it's good to
Warframe's
see.
fun. Blacklight's fun.
Yeah, it's good to see those two titles kind of like people enjoying them. The other one I think is DC Universe Online. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
I think that's the other one, and I haven't heard too much about that.
I think that I don't know when PlanetSide's release got pushed to, but those free-to-play games are going to be the real winners for the PlayStation launch, I think, because from now till I think February, there's like no releases for the new consoles. You have Diablo 3 coming at the end of December, and that's pretty much it. Then nothing on Xbox, as far as I can tell. So I mean, there's a good like 4-month block where if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, you're looking for someone to play. really should check
Additionally,
out the free to play stuff because
yeah.
it's good. Like it's probably the best thing you can play on the system. So I think the real winners there are going to be the free to play games.
Hopefully people get into it. I really do hope so because I'm telling you guys, from the polish that I know went into those games prior to, Blacklight and Warframe are both phenomenal choices to make. So if you have them, I don't see why you wouldn't have them downloaded other than maybe the space for some of those games, but like you should have those downloaded and at least try them out. Other impressions that I kind of saw from people, lots of feedback on the UI for PlayStation 4. Everyone's really enjoying the redesign. If you own a PlayStation 3, I can attest the UI for that is just awful. I mean, awful. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into the settings and tried to fix like video output or just something with the settings, and like I get lost and all of the bullshit that is in that UI is just not very good. So it seems like they made a very conscious effort to make that a lot better, and people are responding to that very positively. The controller is another thing, and here's one where mixed feelings about, because I play with the controller, and for me, I don't feel like it's very good for shooters. Platformers, I'm still like, yes, I like that for platformers, and I've always loved the PlayStation controller for sports games. I think it is very, very good for sports games. Way better, and I'm telling you this from playing Madden at a competitive level for a very long time. When I tried to play Madden on the Xbox controller, I just couldn't. It didn't feel right. So with sports games, they've always felt better on PlayStation, and it seems like people are responding very positively to the controller. Um,
It
I
feels
can't
better
really
for shooters to me. Like it felt way better than the PlayStation 2 controller or the PlayStation 3
PlayStation
controller.
3, DualShock 3, yeah, it feels
They're the
better.
same, yeah.
It feels much better, but
The
I
triggers definitely feel a little weird though. Like just from what I've seen, it seems like they're like wearing. I think really quickly. Like I've already like heard a bit of a squeak kind of coming out of it, and I've seen a few people on Twitter saying the same thing that their controllers are already starting to squeak a bit.
hmm,
So
ugh.
I mean, it feels weird when you pull it. Like there's some strange resistance there, but overall, it's a huge improvement.
Huge improvement from DualShock 3. So um, on those two fronts, I think people are really impressed. I haven't heard a whole lot about social stuff. Well, I take that back. I have heard people aren't happy with the quality that they get through Twitch streaming.
It's really bad.
I've seen Tense. Tense is not happy about it at all. Obviously, there's the HDCP protection that they still have on it. Who knows when that update is going to be coming out? They haven't really, to my knowledge, made an official announcement of when that will be lifted, so people can actually stream through their capture cards, HDMI capture cards. And that's a big issue for quality purposes on Twitch. Uh, it's rough to watch some of that gameplay. So if you have a splitter, which is what people are recommending that you purchase, you're probably fine.
I don't know
But
if I'm spoiled or anything, but it's unwatchable to me. Like watching in that resolution.
480p is the
It's
max.
480p, but it's like a low quality 480p.
And I asked Tense if there were more settings, and he kind of was like, "I don't see anything." And my major question was like, "Why did they do that?" And I think he said like accessibility, making it so that it wasn't a strain on your upload.
I saw some settings where you can change like how the share button works, but I didn't see anything on quality.
Ah, So yeah, I mean that's just one thing I wish was better. I'm sure that'll start to flesh out as we go on, but not having at least a 720p option makes some of those videos very very hard to watch. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen anything on like the friends list UI. Haven't seen anything on messaging. Oh, there is one guy that commented on the trophy system, which he said is much snappier. That's one of the YouTube comments I have kind of cycling through. And honestly, I can't remember it on PS3, but I guess it was delayed. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to it. I was just too busy playing Uncharted to I guess really look look at it. And then there's the faulty hardware. So I think I misspoke a little bit on my video that I did, I could have swore. I mean, I did the math, and it comes out to 4%. But according to all these articles, it's 0.4% failure rates that Sony has stated. But what I read was that they sold 1 million units. It only released in the U.S. and there were 40,000, approximately 40,000 bad units. That's what I heard. That's what I remember reading, and I can pull that up somewhere. Um, and so that the math on that is 4%. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if that is correct or incorrect, but it was initially 0.04%, which Sony then corrected and said, no, guys, it's 0.4%. Either way, I mean, if it's 4%, that's about in line with what you'd expect for a new launch of a product. It's 3 to 4% expected hardware failures. That's like an industry standard. And
Yeah, I've got stats from a report that Square Trade did about the previous gen. And the failure rate was, after 2 years of owning it, it was 10% for the PlayStation 3. And like 24% for the Xbox, half of which was Red Ring.
God damn, guys.
So, I mean, if 10% is like their bar for okay, then yeah, they're right in line. That said, like, that's 2 years of use, and having it bad out of the box is an issue.
Someone said boiling kettle stream every. That's Collins. He's getting a new mic, guys.
Yep, it's already on the way.
It's on the way. He couldn't take it. He listened to last week's episode and was like, "Ah, I'm not boiling tea." So, what is the? Did you say the Wii one, Colin?
The Wii was like 2%. Let's see.
The Wii was a tank.
Seriously, like that was the one console that never broke at eBash when we had it. I don't remember ever having one break.
Nope. Then again, we didn't have a whole lot, but
I would say that was, and the other thing was like the amount that the Wii is used is half of what the Xbox and the PlayStation were used, according to the report. Yeah, 3% for the Wii. Insane.
wow. So obviously the big question here, as we start to transition over into the Xbox side, is what is the failure rate going to be on the Xbox One? I hope to God, I just hope to God it is not bad. There's going to be some guys. There's going to be some that are going to get messed up. You have to expect that. I just hope to God that it's not
Which goes for
anywhere
both.
near Xbox 360s, because that would be horrific for them. Horrific. I would, if there is a high failure rate, and like if my box bricks, I am not buying another Microsoft console. You guys heard it here. If it bricks within 2 years, no.
I don't know how you can even say that when your Xbox lasted like 7 or 8 years before it died.
What are you talking about? We worked at eBash.
Yeah, but your specific box, which you owned,
Who
lasted
cares?
far longer than it should have.
I had the stress of replacing hundreds of Xboxes. Not a couple, not one, not two, not four, like some people.
It's your
Hundreds.
personal box.
I don't care. I had to deal with the stress of
Personal launch day box made it 8 years.
Colin. You were there. How can you even say that? You're sitting there.
I'm on my fourth. It's like my fourth box. I was gonna move my camera. I'm not gonna move the camera because I won't be able to get it balanced again. But yeah, I'm on like my fourth box. One got stolen,
Okay, yeah. One got stolen.
but I had two die.
We were sitting at eBash and we had to replace boxes. We had to replace so many Xboxes that the warranty to replace the Xboxes was they wouldn't allow us to use it. Like that's how many times the eBash Xboxes got replaced. That the 100 or whatever, the $100 fine came in before they actually instated the timeline for it because they replaced so many. That's insane. Insane, Colin. They cannot afford to have another Xbox 360.
Yeah, I'm sure they bulletproof those things this time around. It cost them so much. It cost them so much. Or maybe it didn't because they sold all those consoles.
It's okay, guys. So the last thing I got on PlayStation 4 before we head into Xbox launch expectations is that there's a article posted on Fast Code Design. Copy this for the chat. Posted in here, and they reviewed the PS4, PS4's design, and these are the guys that designed the original Xbox. And so, I asked Colin what I didn't even give him my opinion on, but I asked Colin what he thought about it. I'm gonna just go ahead and let you take the floor.
It's the company that made the giant Duke controller from the Xbox One is critiquing the PlayStation controller and how it's different than the console. You realize how ridiculous that is? It's like, yeah, they did a really good job. The console looks really good, but it's like the controller was made by someone else entirely. They really should have rethought their controller design. It's like, you made the Duke! You made a controller that was the size of people's heads. How are you going to critique anyone about controllers? How are you going to, like, you have no ground to stand on.
They're over there giving people arthritis, talking about, oh guys, this controller design is bad. Remember the one we did?
Be like, like Rob Ford giving a speech on ethics. Like, it just wouldn't stand up. You just don't expect that.
Wait, I don't think the Rob Ford might have went over people's head.
I was gonna leave it. I think
Okay.
a few people knew. Yeah.
Yeah, smoking crack.
And then some. Dude's hilarious.
Oh, I read that article. It's just like, really? The original Xbox team, the America Xbox team. That you could tell they were like, we wanna show that this console is from America. We're going big, or we're not going at all.
I'd like to think they like, all right, we have this big cap on the top of our box that says Xbox. Let's implement it into our controller, and then build around it.
And then we're gonna critique these Japanese Sony guys making this Sony PlayStation controller because we don't like it. It's not America. It's not big enough.
It doesn't look the same as the box. That's lame.
The box looks sleek. This controller, no. It's like, what? Like, wow. Okay. So yeah, that was a bit of a laughing. I found it to be quite funny, just because the nature of the team that made this, sitting there making critiques. Not that they don't have an eye for design. They did point out that the design is not consistent. But don't talk about the fucking controller when you guys made the Duke. Like, come on now. Come on. All right. Let me take down PlayStation guys.
They didn't even preface it as, and we know how to make a bad controller. They just led with that, and we'll be like, all right, point granted.
Sitting there giving people carpal tunnel. Xbox One launch. These are expectations. So, first off, there are a couple reviews on games. The one game that I think is probably the funniest, that stands out the most, is definitely Crimson Dragon. Only because it's getting so heavily shit on everywhere. The funniest thing that I read was that, and they even showed this in the video that I watched on Crimson Dragon, was they were talking about the Kinect and the motion controls, and there are literally like 2 commands for, well, there's more than that. Take that back. There's more commands, but the actual controlling of the Kinect with the game seems like it's minimized. Whereas it was promoted as being all like Kinect integrated and all types of shit, but it's not. So
I wanted to be able to fly my dragon around.
You gotta, you know. So I mean, that was probably the funniest to me because, I mean, it didn't have high expectations for this game anyway, but I just thought it was funny that I think this might be the lowest rated launch title game so far. I think.
I think so.
So obviously something is there. People are not liking it.
One thing they're doing though is they spaced out their media embargo. Where PlayStation had all theirs at the same time, so like everything just went live.
Yeah, it was like.
But Xbox is making it so like every other day there's a new game that's off the embargo. Do you find it suspicious that Rise isn't allowed to be reviewed until the day after release?
After?
Yep.
Really?
Rise reviews are on hold until the day after the one's out.
Ooh.
And you could argue that it was just because like they're spacing out their stuff, they don't have anything on top of each other, but that's
Dude,
the game which everyone is most skeptical about, right?
I didn't even know that. Yeah, that is the game that everyone is like.
And it's their platform game, really. Like Dead Rising is somewhat, but
I didn't even know that. Dude.
Dead Rising isn't their graphical showcase, right?
Right. Ooh. Ooh. See, now that has me a little upset already. I don't get me wrong.
I'm pretty sure Dead Rising reviews are already up, right?
Yeah, Dead Rising is getting about mediocre,
right, yeah.
average, but slightly above average.
Which is about what Dead Rising 2 was.
And so, I mean, these are the titles that I'm actually getting Rise. I played Rise at PAX, but I played Gladiator mode.
Forza's tomorrow is the one I couldn't remember.
Forza? Okay.
So yeah, Forza goes up tomorrow, and then Saturday?
Forza will probably be the highest rated exclusive party game. I think.
Probably. I mean, yeah, it's...
If Need for Speed got 85 on Metacritic, Forza will probably get the highest across the board for next gen. I'm saying it right now, guys. Man, you just have completely thrown me for a loop with this Rise thing, because that means that they're not at all confident about the game. And they're suckering people into buying it because it looks pretty. But the one thing that I was really critical of Rise before we played was the QuickTime events. Remember all the QT shit that we saw?
Yep.
Oh, man. Well, regardless,
I'm just waiting until spring.
Yeah, that's true. That is not the game that's going to be my focal point anyway for launch titles. It's actually going to be Killer Instinct, which I watched Giant Bomb stream. Giant Bomb did a 60 FPS stream of Killer Instinct on their site. I watched it today. The game looks fucking sick. I am very excited for Killer Instinct, and a lot of the people from the fighting game community, well-respected guys, have said that this is a pretty good game. So I am convinced, like as of right now, that Killer Instinct is going to be solid for me. They have 4 different packages, I think. They have the basic one, then there's the Combo Breaker, which is $19.99. Then they have one at $39.99, and then they have one at the full price of a game, $60.
My big thing is just like they could have made that on 360. It's not doing anything to leverage the one.
They are using cloud computing to do server-side updates.
No, they're not. Don't give them false information, Kale.
No, Colin, I swear to God, that is what they said. Verbatim. I swear to God, that is what they said. Like, that shit wasn't already possible on Xbox 360. Like, developers weren't already doing server-side updates.
We just call it a title update around here.
But I'm excited for this because it is a remake of a game that I enjoyed as a kid, and it is around the time that I'm starting to get into fighting games on a more serious level. And
how can you take that game seriously, though?
I've just told you, like,
Combo Breaker.
Colin, it has been checked off. It is being checked off by competitive guys in the community. They're saying has the makings of being something good. I'm not saying it's going to be the next big thing. I'm just saying that this is going to be a solid title.
They're all paid off by Mark, man.
God, probably. He's like, here, guys, play with. Here, I'll give you this this new fight stick if you guys talk very highly of the game.
Talk it up.
I'm just saying, that's the game that I'm probably going to spend.
It's not the kind of game that you get a console for. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true. That's true.
Which is
completely right.
That's my biggest gripe right now. Is like none of these games I would get a console for. Maybe Forza if I was a racing fan. Like Forza looks good. if I was a racing fan, Forza might get me excited enough to buy a console. The other stuff, yeah. Titanfall's it for me. Like Titanfall's
Titanfall's
the point where I want to have
well.
a console.
Here's the thing: if Destiny was coming out on either one at launch, I would
Yeah.
invest in Destiny on whatever was more appealing to me. The thing that I think Destiny has right now is they're heavily going towards PlayStation. So I think that a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh man, I got to get in on this beta for Destiny, so I'm going to get a PlayStation 4." I think that's a pretty good selling point for the system if you're invested in that specific game. So that's kind of my general. That's the only game that I feel like is above the rest in terms of what would push me to buy one sooner. But I mean, I'm in complete agreement with you. Titanfall, again, that's the game I played at PAX. I'm on the Titanfall Kool-Aid right now, guys. I played this shit. I played almost every other game there. Bar, Killzone, Shadowfall, and I'm telling you guys, Titanfall is the truth. Like the game is legit, regardless of if there's bots in the game, whatever. Who cares? The game is fun. It didn't feel like I was playing the same shit I played last year, or the year before that, or the year before that. It felt refreshing, and I think a lot of people can get into the game. So
So I mean, it's like I'm going to get my console before that. But really, there's nothing that. Like if I was buying a console just for stuff to play now, I'd probably get a PlayStation, just play the stuff that's already on PC with the free-to-play games.
yeah, the one thing I'm a little upset about for Xbox One is that there's not really that many indie titles or free to play titles for that matter. If you want to call Killer Instinct a free to play title, they said don't. That it's the world's most expensive demo. Um, then there's nothing really there to compete with a Warframe or a Blacklight. Which, I mean, again, if you're a PS4 owner and you're just like feeling, what's that one comment, Colin? If you're if oh wait, he said that the launch title, it's like the PS4 right now is like a desert, but eventually it'll be Las Vegas. But right now, I'm struggling to find water, something like that.
That's good.
That
He
was
just kind of slaughtered his
no, I didn't.
wonderful prose, but that was
No, I
good.
didn't. That was the equivalent of it. Hold on, I'm about to pull it up now so I can read it to you guys.
You had
You
it
guys can
close.
probably
You had
you
it
guys can
close.
probably see this on my screen. I'm fine with it because we're gonna pull up this guy's. Where's it at? It's in pictures. It's in slideshow. This guy. No, not. Where's it at? Yes. Let's read Thunder Crusher out loud. Got my PS4 today. The PS4 has promise, but as of right now, games are limited. I felt like, wow, is that it? So few apps, so few games on PSN4 network. Is this really next gen? With PS4 and Xbox One, if you are not totally into one next gen game, 2 weeks from now, you will scratch your head and be going back to the Xbox 360 and PS3 till spring, and maybe even next year. Right now, next gen is actually less gen. It's like a desert that will become Las Vegas eventually. But right now, you have to look for water. That quote.
I think it's accurate.
That quote.
It's
Next
pretty
gen is
accurate.
less gen, guys.
I don't feel like it's the same as last time around, where like 360 on launch day, like even though the games were rough, they were still a drastic improvement over everything that was previous. You know what I mean?
Phobos. It was. That was from Thunder
Like
Crusher, guys. Thunder Crusher. What a speech. I know. Next gen is feeling like less gen. I love that quote. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Let me kind of stop the rant, and I'm gonna go into some of the things that have me really disappointed with Xbox One. And this was prior to this announcement, Colin. If you remember me talking about this on the show, I was like, I am not going to get an Xbox One until they announce Twitch, right? I don't know if you
yeah,
remember me saying that. I
I
was
do
like,
remember you saying that,
okay, you remember me saying that?
and you're already going back on that,
Right? So I said this back in like
which means that I think that if your console breaks, you're gonna buy another one.
June or July. I said, and it's not that I even need the Twitch integration. I can stream right now, no problem. I just wanted it there. So
If that protection isn't up, I don't know if it's up at launch.
for Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be, but it doesn't matter. I have like 20 capture cards. I have a splitter, so I'll be fine either way. Um, but just yesterday, I think Twitch, or I'm sorry, Xbox One announced that Twitch streaming wasn't going to be available until sometime early 2014. And I just looked at that and I said, "Are you fucking shitting me?" After I sit there I was just so pissed because I sat there and I remember explicitly saying, "Listen, guys, if Xbox One gets Twitch, that's gonna push me over the edge." And now they can't even come out. They can't even come out with the same on par shitty ass version as PlayStation 4. They have to wait until early 2014, so we won't get any integration with that, at least from then. I was just like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? So I was really pissed at that. Um, then there's the other thing with the whole like social aspect of sharing on Facebook, which I think neither of them can do. But there's like no ability to share your stuff at all using the Xbox One. I think the only way you can do it is through their own built-in, what is it called? Upload Studio,
Yeah.
something like that, which
Which
is
no
like
one's be
this
looking
this
at.
fake ass YouTube that Microsoft was like, how can we leverage all the gamers uploading content? Oh, I know. Let's make our own integrated uploading service. And I was shitting on YouTube the week before, but I don't want to fucking look at video footage on my Xbox as a let me snap upload studio. Let me look at some tips in here. No, that's not how the fuck you do that. Because you're gonna see shitty stuff because people can't edit properly on these videos. So what the fuck? I don't want to look at that. That's bullshit. So I'm pretty upset about the whole like upload studio being their share functionality out of the box. It's pretty shit. If you ask me. So no Facebook sharing on either console. No Twitch integration until early 2014.
I am pretty pumped to be able to watch Twitch streams while I play.
That's cool. Snap, chat, bring up Twitch. I don't know what it's gonna be. What is it gonna be? Snap, Xbox, go to Twitch. I'm gonna do my first video. Maybe I don't know my first video. I'm gonna do like a pretty good video with all of the Xbox. Lick my ass. Xbox. Search on Bing. Xbox. What's the weather like? Xbox. Where can I get coffee? I'm gonna do it all. I wonder if it goes to Bing if you ask a question like
I don't think it does.
Xbox. Go to Bing. Search. Where can I get a nice latte?
One thing I'm hoping is that I can send like a Twitch link to all my friends and they can watch it without having to open the app. Like be able to just select it and it'll realize there's a Twitch link and open up Twitch.
Did you? Oh, one thing I want to mention.
Nice.
This is actually really fucking cool, Colin. With the Twitch, you talking about that? They have a bunch of achievements that you can get.
Yeah.
By watching Twitch. So watch 1 hour of live video on Twitch to become a newcomer. Watch 10 hours of live video on Twitch for competitive. Watch 100 hours of live video on Twitch for best viewer. Watch 1 hour of live video on Twitch channels that have less than 10 viewers to be a hipster. And there's like, I don't know, 7 more or so. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's good. People are always all about getting the achievements, so now those guys will be watching some streams.
So yeah, I mean that's the disappointing aspect of a lot of this stuff that both Microsoft and Sony are kind of doing now. And Microsoft straight up took a page out of Sony's book, waiting up until the couple days
The
before
11th
the
hour.
launch. Yeah, to announce that they're not going to have Twitch integration on launch. It's like, you guys
That
wait
said,
4
if
days?
if the Twitch quality is the same as PlayStation, I don't really care because it's unwatchable.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like if that's what they're going to roll out, then I don't even care.
If they roll that out, yeah, 480p, after waiting, they said early 2014. So let's say, excuse me, March is the end of early 2014. That's what, December, January, February, March, 4 months. If they can't sort that shit out, making the announcement way back in July, I want to say. And they had to been Colin. They've been partnered with them, like doing stuff with them for the
A
longest
long
time
time.
now.
I mean, there's even an app right now on 360.
So
It sucks.
it's mind blowing to me that this is not available on launch. Mind blowing. But if it is not 720p minimum, I will be pissed. Very pissed.
I have my hopes. I have my hopes are low after the PlayStation quality.
One
Not
thing
not that I was surprised. I didn't think the quality would be that great, but I didn't think it'd be that bad.
I didn't think it would be. Yeah, I did not think it would be
Even
that
like a
bad.
crisp 480 looks okay, but that's not a crisp 480.
It's like, regardless of your upload bandwidth, it's like taking the absolute worst, like the minimum amount that it needs in order to output. I think it's for lag purposes, to be honest. Bandwidth.
I don't know. I think it's console limitations.
Next gen is less gen. That's right. Hashtag that, guys. Tweet at it, right? Next gen is less gen.
It's kind of good though. Like the recording is good enough. This is my competitive gamer hat going on. It's good enough that you can do online competitions and have evidence and everything, as well as do some streams for like the people that would normally have capture cards, but they're really good. Uh, but the high quality content people with actual capture cards will still be able to be like the prime content providers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
It's yeah.
So
It's ushering
there's not
in the
going to be a
casual.
flood of low quality crap. Well, there's going to be a flood, but it's going to be way underneath the rocks that are the community that has capture card.
I
Be
the other thing
crashing
is,
into
like,
the shore.
you have no. I don't say you have no option because I still do 720p, but there's a lot of guys that are just like now that there's 1080p 60 FPS standard for consoles now. A lot of the uploaded video that I'm seeing from some of the popular YouTubers is 1080p religiously. So that's definitely a
I
plus.
can't
Like
even run that shit on YouTube.
the quality difference is like, yeah, I can't
Yeah.
run that.
But I mean, like, it's just a loaded 1080p video. I have to wait like 5 minutes to let it go.
Colin, that's early 2014. We get AT&T Uverse. Did we talk about this last week?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
It's alright.
Did we talk about Uverse though?
Waiting for the Google 5. Yeah, I'd mentioned they were coming to Austin.
Yeah.
Well, they were coming to Austin in the sense that they were bringing good internet to Austin,
Yeah.
which is already supposedly here.
What is the green light blinking behind me? I have a green light blinking. Oh no no,
think
no.
it's,
That's my sound bar.
Yeah.
Had me looking all behind me like, oh shit.
You know what's really weird? It doesn't show up in. Oh, it's just camera difference, but it doesn't show up in Google Plus. It shows up only on stream.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, that's pretty much it for this week's show. Xbox One launch. In terms of predictions, Colin, what number are you going to throw out for the number? We got 1 million units sold North America for PlayStation 4.
It sounds like I don't know. There's so much misinformation with sell through versus sold that I can't say shit.
What do you think? What do you think it's going to be? I think they're going to match.
I can guarantee you that whatever number they actually say they sold is going to be higher than that.
All right, so you got to play the game, Colin. You can't just leave me hang. I can't be the only one to put out a prediction. You just have to say a number.
$1,001,001, Bob.
1.1 million units sold.
1.01. That's all it'll take
Okay.
within that same time frame.
I think I'm going to say the same thing.
I mean, they'll probably say like 1.5, but realistically,
800K?
they'll probably have actually sold maybe like 600, 700,000. But I guarantee you, whatever they say will not be less than that.
600. I don't think they'll make an announcement if they can't make an announcement that doesn't match PlayStation.
They just won't say anything.
They won't say anything. So they'll wait.
I guarantee. Well, I guarantee they'll announce it. I guarantee it'll be higher. Whether that's true or not, or verifiable in any way.
Okay. I can handle that for a prediction. What about faulty units?
What about what units?
Faulty. Bad hardware.
There will be a bunch of reports, but nothing beyond that. It's impossible to tell, like, definitively if shit's broke by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the fact the PlayStation News was coming up was silly, but it was because they handed out some really early objects, or some really early consoles, and those happened to be broken.
Yeah. 15%? Ooh. That'll be a nightmare if it's that high. 8% in the chat.
The numbers mean nothing, though. The numbers mean nothing.
Colin, 15% is. Colin,
Because
we
they're
just
not
talked
accurate.
about this. I don't care.
The 40,000 number isn't accurate either.
I don't. That's fine. I'm just talking about
It's
the percent.
estimates.
Okay. So now that we got the probably the around the exact estimate of the number of faulty Xbox
You
360
can't say
units.
around the exact estimate.
Yeah.
The fuck does
Of-
that even mean?
of-
What does that mean? Around the exact estimate.
That is.
How can you say that? Like that
that is
means
my-
nothing. That means nothing. Do you work for Sony? Do you work for Microsoft?
No, Colin. This is where I'm going.
Now that we have around the exact estimate.
Yeah, we have around the exact estimate.
It's an estimate. It's an estimate made in a week.
I wasn't gonna say Sony though. I was gonna say Xbox 360. I don't know what the exact number is. I think you said 23%.
Yeah, it was 20.
Okay, so 1 in 4 Xboxes sold at launch were terrible.
No,
Awful.
broke within 2 years.
Broke within 2 years. Okay.
Again, like you can't make estimates in a week. That's why I feel like you need a year or two to let hardware rates to be able to be determined. You can't determine shit of like what breaks out of the box.
This is
especially when it can be shipping errors. Like the Amazon box is supposedly for PlayStation are having issues because of shipping. Like they packed them stupidly. So how can you say it's failure rate? Like it's the most stupid story. It's completely idiotic. It's as idiotic as an exact estimate.
All I'm asking for is a prediction.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
Because you can't confirm or deny it for a year.
Okay. So this is a
Do
year
you want
from
a
now.
prediction? 1 year from now, what will the failure rates
Yeah.
be? About 10%
About 10%
on both.
on both.
If you want to just like put a post-it note down and remember to check with me in a year, and we'll see if we can find some academic report that says that the failure rates for X.
We're gonna do that. I'm gonna say 7%.
Okay. It'll be an estimate with a 3 to 4% margin of error, which means that neither of us can be exactly correct. I don't like playing games I can't win, Kale.
I know.
Like, there's no winning here. You're just asking me to make a prediction that doesn't matter at all.
You're like, you hate single player games and you hate situations where you cannot determine the
I
outcome.
hate bad statistics. Like, bad statistics are overblown into gigantic news stories. It's fucking
Douglas says,
stupid.
oh, he has it on a post-it. I would like to be quoted at 15%. That's Bronco. 15% for Bronco. So everyone can go back and watch this video. We can all be like, yep, I was right on the money when the estimates come out. I was exact in my estimate.
With the margin of error.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for today's show. We will wrap it up with some questions from the chat and talk about Thor. Q&A? All right, so
No margin here. 15.37.
15.37. Junglist, thanks, man. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Ghost rant? Colin can't speak on ghosts, and I have already did my ghost rant.
I can't even nod and smile.
You can smile.
Nope.
Go ahead and smile, Colin.
Have to-
I see that little
Have to
smile.
poker face up.
Got that smile right there. Look at you, smiling. See? Did you guys see the new BF4 maps? I have not looked at them yet. Spoilers. So yeah, spoilers alert for Thor. First off, Colin, what do you think Thor could have improved upon with
Hold on. I don't think you give enough time for earmuffs.
Oh,
Just
okay.
Earmuffs?
All right, guys. This is the point of the show where if you don't want to hear any spoilers about Thor, we waited 1 week. We didn't talk about it last week. We waited 1 week. Ample time for you to be able to watch the show. That's 2 weekends have gone by. We talked about it. So Um, we went and saw it on opening night, or no, Saturday. We saw it Saturday.
Saturday.
So, opening weekend. So, again, we're about to start talking about Thor.
Just change the topic for people clicking through YouTube.
Okay.
Or people just tuning in.
All right. We good? Is that enough time, Colin? Earmuffs?
Change the topic on the video.
Oh. Thor?
So if people are just tuning in, they're like, oh! Oh, fuck, I just dropped.
They're so upset that they throw their camera on the ground. Oh, fuck this camera. Thor Dark World? The Dark World? Is it The Dark World?
Yes.
The Dark World? Alright. Go ahead. Critique.
So I should preface this by saying I was a pretty big fan of the first movie. And it's probably my favorite of any of like the Avengers series movies. 'Cause I didn't like either of the other Avengers movies because they're like big Hollywood blockbusters. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. But Thor has like the big sweeping environments. Like Asgard looks fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like their envisionment of Asgard's just on the money. On the money for whatever the fuck Asgard looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that said, I thought it was a good movie. I said that I don't know if I said this last week, but I think it's slightly better than the first movie. But the thing that killed me, and the one thing which still eats at me like a week later, was the cameo from Captain America in a fucking Thor movie. And it wasn't even on Earth. It was fucking Loki pretending. You know, it wasn't even on Earth. It was on Asgard. From a character that shouldn't have even known about Captain America. You know what I mean? So I thought that was really dumb. And that's still bothering me. Because that just soured the entire movie for me.
It's because...
Especially when that character, like, Loki killed it this movie. It's an awesome character. He was good in both.
Yeah.
But I love the character, and he was really good in this movie, and that just ruined it for me.
So here's what ruined it for you. It's not even that he made a cameo. It's that you dislike Captain America.
Yeah, that's the thing. Captain America is also the worst of any of
Exactly.
them. Like, by far the most obnoxious. Everyone acknowledges he's the most obnoxious. No one likes Captain America. No one. No one likes Captain America. And that was kind of the joke, too, is that no one likes Captain... You know, like, that was the dig, was at Captain America. No one likes it. He had no reason to be there. He has no reason to exist.
Gone. Listen, I didn't have a problem. I didn't have...
Yeah, I mean, I guess he could have known Captain the Avengers movie, but I didn't think those were in sequence.
Well,
Didn't really make sense for them to be in sequence because he was... If you Again, we're talking spoilers, but he was in prison. You know what I mean? Like, what had been before?
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't... It was unexpected. I would have preferred if he had... Because you remember the Hulk beat his ass in the Avengers. I would have preferred if he transformed into the Hulk, because Hulk Thor
It was
played
unnecessary entirely.
It is. I'm just saying, for that specific scene, instead of doing Captain America, if they wanted to play that up, the proper one to do is Thor Hulk, not Captain America Thor, because that's just fuck. I was like, what the fuck? The cameo I thought was kind of funny. I didn't like it, but I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was unnecessary, but I would have preferred Thor Hulk if they were going to do something like that. Fair?
I guess.
There's a ton of Thor Hulk backstory.
Yeah.
I think that's more
It's still
appropriate.
just, like, really weird. In the context of where the story was at that point.
Yeah, true. Which was
He was already really funny. Like, he was really funny up to that point. I was like, ah, that sucks. They're in sequence because they bring him to prison at the end of Avengers? But he got put in prison from his actions from the first movie.
Right.
So it doesn't really make sense to me. Loki's just always in prison, and then therefore it can be at any point from any of the movies.
He's not in prison now, baby. All right, so I'm gonna let you continue on.
Aside from that, like, I thought it was good. The one thing I really wish they had done was the entire focus of the movie was all the worlds coming together,
Uh huh.
the one central location or whatever, and they didn't show any of the other worlds. Like they had some with Thor at the beginning, uniting the tribes of the different areas and everything,
They showed that one world.
which is really just like Scotland, right? Like it was
Right.
some generic grass area. But I wanted to see the other worlds.
They showed the ice world for a hot second in that
Well,
fight
yeah, because
scene.
the Ice World was in the first movie, so they already had all the art assets from it.
Right.
Like that's the thing. Like they just recycled the art assets from the first movie, and those are the only areas they showed. They didn't show any of the other ones. The one new area they showed was the where she had the thing come out initially, where it was buried when she went through the portal and then popped up and the hole in the
Oh,
wall.
the shadow
But
world. I don't know what the hell it's called.
it was literally just a world with red rocks, and then she was gone.
The shadow elf
Yeah.
world. Is that what you're
Well, I
referring to?
wanted to see another like Vista, like the crazy vistas they do in Asgard. Like I wanted to see some of that shit.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So I mean, those are my two gripes. The rest of the movie was fine. I liked it.
Okay, so I got a couple. First off, like you, I don't know if the more I think about the second one, the more I like it. But my initial gut feeling was that I liked the first one more. However, I think what starts to put it over the top is thinking about some of the dynamic with Hopkins, which I wanted more of in the first one, and I got just the right amount in the second one. Because I'm a huge Anthony Hopkins fan. Um, so I mean, I watch all of his movies, and just seeing him play whatever character, like he gets into it, he does a really nice job.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to see more of him, and I didn't get enough in the first. So the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I got a nice dose of Anthony Hopkins in the second one. So I think I was good there. There's a couple things that I didn't like about the technology, right? The story of the dark elves or whatever the hell they're called, the shadow elves, the dark elves, the dark elves, and Asgard. All right, so this happens. The story is set 10,000 years before the present, right? Before you're in the Asgard that we know. There, um, Odin's father basically vanquishes these dudes, just rips them up,
Yep.
basically, and they come back 10,000 years later, and one ship out of all the ones they showed in that early scene fucking wrecks Asgard. I was like, what?
It is
How
true.
is that even possible? It's 10,000 years in the future, and these motherfuckers have better technology than you have now? What? That was the one thing that threw me way
But
off.
they had someone on the inside. That's the one caveat.
No,
They didn't have him on the inside to bring the shield down.
Colin, the one dude that took the little curse thing or whatever, he got taken out by Thor's dad 10,000 years ago, and three Asgardians took him down. And then this one is such a badass that he whoops Thor's ass?
Whoops everyone's ass.
Everybody's ass.
After hibernating for 10,000 years.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So that was the one. That was the one thing that I just could not get over. From the beginning of when they first got introduced, nothing could detect them, except what is the Guardian's name? I can't think of his name.
Odenheim?
Odenheim. Odenheim does this badass scene where he like detects the vibrations of one.
As badass as he is, he's kind of failed at gatekeeping.
He tears up one of the ships by himself, destroys like a little fighter ship before realizing that the other ones are invisible, and two ships overtake Asgard. Two. I was just blown away, Colin. Their rusty ass, old ass, non-upgraded turrets couldn't do shit. I was pissed. I did not like that part. All right, the second part that really had me upset. Really, really had me upset. Thor gets his ass beat. Okay. By that big, huge curse dude. Malachi gets superpowers through the ether, and Thor was going blow for blow with him like he was nothing. But he gets his ass whooped by the cursed dude.
Yeah. The cursed dude should have taken the power.
Listen, Thor was getting his ass whooped by this dude. And then at the end of the movie, he was knocking Malachi all around. I was like, what?
Yeah. Superhero movie, man.
Last thing. So the fight scene, the big huge climactic fight scene was not at all climactic. At all. It was anticlimactic. The last thing that bothered the shit out of me, Colin.
It was better than Thor 1, though.
It was much
with the
better than Thor
robot.
1.
The robot fight was awful.
That was awful. It was just such a generic villain
Yeah.
to fight. The last thing that bothered me, and this one, it's not as bad as the second thing I just mentioned, but the last thing that bothered me is at the end fight scene, the fucking weather poles, that's what I'm calling them, metal sticks, were fucking used in the battle to determine the outcome of the battle. They look like they were taped together, and they're sitting there turning knobs, making gravity change and all this shit,
And teleporting people through as
yeah,
it was reliable.
Like, oh, you guys are just.
They
And
really stretched.
I think it was supposed to add some like comedy to it, but I was just like,
I mean, it set the stage for a fight scene where people were warping around. But they could have done that anyways, because that was the whole premise of it, was that like the worlds are converging, and then
exactly.
the fabric between worlds is then, yeah.
Oh,
So they could have just had people just falling through. You know what I mean?
yeah. Did you see how the technology was though? The dude literally said in one of the scenes, like, "Is this duct tape together?" And they're sitting there determining the outcome of the battle with duct tape equipment.
And they're holding up during the cyclone.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was pretty cheesy.
But other than that, like, visually amazing. For the most part, the story hits all parts. Um, I was digging the movie. Like, it was pretty fucking good.
It's a fun movie.
Had a good start to finish. Just a couple things that I had to nitpick. So I highly recommend going to see it. I've already bought the first Thor. That is one of the few movies. I watched Avengers twice. I've watched Thor 4 times.
Yeah, I've watched it
Maybe
4 or 5
5.
times as well. It's up there with like it's in my movie bin with like Riddick, where it's just like something that I can watch
Yeah, if it's on,
a
like
bunch. Like if it's on, I'm just gonna watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not particularly great. It's not like it's a great film or cinematic masterpiece, but it's good. You know, it's entertaining enough. And
So yeah, I mean, highly advise going to check it out. Those couple things might irritate you a little bit though.
especially now we've called them out if you haven't seen it,
Yeah,
which is why you should have earmuffs and left.
Arctic. I didn't like how the Asgardians use swords and shit, but the defenses for Asgard are cannons.
Yeah, like they have no guns for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. That whole like takeover of Asgard had me just upset, majorly. So I don't know how many people are. Let me check to see. Did we clear out the chat?
There's still 45 people. Like only like 5 people actually took our advice and left.
Okay.
There's no way all 47 of you have seen Thor already. I mean, it's possible, I guess. But the fact that 90% of our audience had already seen it, I don't know. You guys just ruined a movie for yourselves.
Sorry, guys. Q&A session. All right, so we'll end real quick with the Q&A session. Yeah, 6 minutes. I want to end this right at 9:30. Watch opening night. Any questions before we end the show? Otherwise, are you guys into Shield Agents, the show that they have? No, I don't watch it at all. Oh, Colin, down, man down. Oh, why do you got to do that?
Nah.
That's messed up. TV shows you're watching. Alphas with John Goodman. Bill Murray made a cameo in the very first episode. It was awesome. But yeah, I watched. That's on Amazon. I don't watch cable TV, so I watch like a bunch of shows on like Amazon or Netflix. But that's
Hulu.
one I'm watching. Um, kind of watching Duck Dynasty. Kind of weird thing to watch, but Christy got me on it, so kind of watching that. The show am I watching? One other show that I can't think of right now. I don't know. Come back to it. How long you watching any shows? Archer.
Archer's off. It's an off season.
Okay.
Parks and Rec. South Park's been really good this season. That's pretty much it.
Have you guys seen the VGX nominations? Is that Spike's new thing? I've seen some people tweeting
I
about.
have zero interest in that
certain things.
anymore.
I don't. I don't watch it. Yeah.
It's quickly gotten really awful.
Tiger, I've watched almost all of Breaking Bad. I haven't seen the last season. That's another show I guess I watch, but I mean it's done, so it's not one I would talk about anymore.
Speaking of things to watch, MLG Columbus this weekend.
MLG Columbus gonna have Ghosts
And Dota.
and Dota.
It's going to be good too. And then the week after that is DreamHack.
Oh, so I guess I talked about going to PAX East. I might go to PAX East this year. Or next year, I should say.
Dota Spectate Pass is free.
Is it?
Yeah. You can watch it in-game for free.
And they raised 50,000 additional bucks.
It's at 70,000 now. So their pot's gone from 100,000 to 170,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Love that shit.
Nice.
Sorry,
That's
you were
nice. I might go to PAX East. South by Southwest. Are you gonna go South by Southwest? Gaming Expo?
saying. The interactive?
Yeah.
Maybe. Their tickets are freaking expensive for everything.
I can get you in. Want to go?
I really want to go to the film portion.
I can't. I don't know if I can get you into that. So is Gal over? We don't talk about Gears of War on the show anymore. No, I'm just joking. Is Gears of War over? I don't know. It's a question that we cannot answer as of right now. I would say no, because they're making updates on Gears of War 3.
Pete with the stealth update. People are still upset even though he gave them what they wanted a year ago.
No pleasing.
Doesn't make sense to me.
No pleasing. What is your thought on video games back in the 90s compared to video games now? I have a much different perception of games then. I don't know.
It's hard to say because, like, in the 90s, I was 10.
I was 10 to, well, yeah, 10, 95, which is when PlayStation came out. Before that, I have very loose memory. Like, I didn't play a whole lot of games when I was younger. Like, you guys got to realize, like, early 90s, it was like a little bit of games, but I was fucking outside. I was like the last generation that went outside to play a lot.
I always got all the consoles super late because you didn't have a lot of money. So it was like, got the NES when the SNES was coming out, you know, like that kind of thing.
You were in your 20s in the 90s? Shut up, Tins.
Literally grew up with Will Smith.
It's my brother.
Little brother.
Gears doesn't suck. Can you ever please anyone? What? I didn't get bigger on
Two separate comments.
Oh, okay. What
Tiger
update
Blues.
to Gal 3? Missed that? Okay. I'm just catching back up to the chat.
Microsoft putting Xbox Live on PC. If you have Windows 8, it's already kind of there. Like it's all integrated into your Windows account. And when you sign up for, like, for example, on the Xbox, you'll link to your Skype, and then you'll have Skype on PC and Skype on Xbox. So I mean, it's already kind of there. It's not like they have to add Xbox Live. They tried to do that before with games for Windows Live, and it tanked horrendously.
horrendously.
So they're not going to make a platform like that for PC games. I can almost guarantee you. What they will do is like try to integrate it all together through Windows 8.
So, is there any new Razer gear for what next gen? I've been getting that question a lot. Min, I don't know if you saw this, but Quinn was tweeting me about the controller Sabretooth,
Saber.
and he I can't remember if he asked me if there was going to be anything on next gen or not, but I said something like, "Yeah, I would like there to be." And Min sent both of us a tweet saying, "Hey, we hear you guys loud and clear." There you go. So that's the CEO of Razer, and he hears us loud and clear.
Speaking of which, I need to get mouse, keyboard. Actually, well, mostly just keyboard.
I need to get a stealth because I'm tired of my clickety clack. People hearing it on videos.
Yeah, I've got my Yeti coming on Friday, and then hopefully my mic issues will be long gone.
Yeah, we won't have to listen like you're in.
To the random specks in the ears, yeah.
All right, 9:31. Looks like all the questions are done. Kind of rhymed. Okay. Anyway, um, we will see you guys next week. Colin, what are we gonna talk about next? I guess
Xbox One and MLG Columbus.
Xbox One, MLG Columbus.
I'm sure there'll be some big controversy when the first Xbox One fails because everyone thinks that that's the end of the world.
Probably. Maybe the Xbox One launch versus the PS4 launch side by side. And hopefully maybe I'll just mail you. All right, guys. You know what? I'm going to make a donation fund at the end of this stream.
I'm good. I'm getting it piecemeal. I got the mic coming, and then camera will be next. And then I need headphones, so I have just one set of headphones instead of two.
Or not? I'm sorry, not his mic. His camera, because it's like there's an earthquake at your house every couple minutes, and just boom, 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 boom.
Show an update on my setup. I got a
Look at
chair
that,
that's higher than the last chair I had, so like it's a new chair. So now I had to add the Gears Elite Theron to prop it up. So
Man,
that's 3 games and the Gears Elite Theron holding up my camera.
All your gear stuff, that's all it's good for anymore. Just props.
And that's my phone, that's the camera for those that don't know. Damn it, I was
So,
holding
do
it
you
so
see the dire the dire need, guys, for this man and a donation fund for a camera? You guys see it.
By January, I think I'll have my full setup.
You guys see it. We
see.
need to get this going. We need that money to go towards something else for him. Save up, but donations, guys. I don't know what I need to do to start this up. Donation fund for Colin and a $15 webcam. $30 webcam, HD.
Ooh, now that's a lot.
$30, guys. That's the goal. Let's do it.
Sad thing is, this camera is HD. It's just a phone. All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.